Hi there, and today we thought we'd give you a quick overview of what happens next in Spanish property. I've got the iPad here and I'll be talking you through what I think happens in Valencia Property and Spanish property over the next few minutes. What changes over the next period in Spanish property? Well, firstly, quarantine has changed our perspectives. I'm sitting outside now on a terrace. It overlooks a big garden. It's a nice view. Terraces are going to become more important for people in Spanish property. Of that, there is no doubt. Everyone who's getting in touch with us at the moment is saying, I want a garden, or I want a terrace, I want outside space. It's very, very important. And we expect that to continue once we come out of this situation. Whenever that is, it could be a long time. We don't expect the market to start moving again and people being able to visit properties until the middle of the summer, really. I think bit by bit things will change, things will open up, but it's not going to happen very rapidly. It's going to happen bit by bit, and if it looks like there's going to be a second wave of the virus, then things will close down again. What this means for Valencia Property and for you? Well, for a lot of our clients who've already bought here, they've found during this time that maybe the place they bought wasn't perfect. Maybe it was too small and required that extra room in order to have an office. Maybe it required that outside space. And in some cases, it's too big because they've been enclosed on their own in a huge house. And it just becomes extra rooms to clean, and they realize they don't need those extra rooms for the people who are coming over to visit when people don't come over to visit. And they've realized at that point that you buy a house for yourself. You don't buy a house for the potential of other visitors, unless you're going to open an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast, a small guest house. That's different. But when you're buying a place for yourself, really, do you need all those extra rooms? One extra room is good. That office you need, that space you need to get away from the rest of the family, etc. You said that hiding on the terrace, but not too much. So, when does the market start moving again? Well, one of the things you got to remember is there's a time lag between people visiting a property and buying the property. So you visit the property here and you say, yeah, I want to buy it, deposit is put down, time passes, the checks are all done and everything, and then it goes to the notary's office. Normally, something that could happen in as little as 5 or 6 days is taking 60, 90, 120 days. Anecdotally, we've got a few sales going through which have been extended the time period. Originally they were 60 days and now they're up to 120, and they will be extended again depending on the conditions of the lockdown. The next question, of course, is what do prices look like when we come out of the problems that we've got at the moment with the coronavirus? And prices will definitely go down. You can quote me on that. They'll definitely go down. We're starting to see on some of the portals small reductions in price. Not huge ones yet, but we're starting to see small reductions in price. Bit by bit, they'll get a bit bigger. However, some properties will maintain the inherent value they've got. Places with terraces, places with excellent communication, shops nearby, places with really good internet connection where people can work from. And we get a lot of clients who work from home and are very happy with what they've got because they've been able to carry on working normally because they always work from home. However, you've got to remember most of the market in Valencia and other places are Spanish people. And those people are going to be affected by the close down. Lots of people are losing their jobs, of course, others are having their hours reduced than that. And without that solid credit history, the banks will be very unlikely to lend to them in the near future, which again will reduce the demand and therefore reduce the prices. Remember one thing though, coming over here and offering 50% below the price, it just won't happen. There will be a disconnect between the price the seller is willing to accept and the price the buyer is willing to offer. As things come up, if they are bargains, they will still go quickly. If people drop their prices to get below the curve, they'll still sell. People who drop 5% here and then in 3 months' time another 5%, etc., they won't be able to sell probably because there will be others who sell at a lower price. We expect to see, for example, properties coming onto the market from landlords who've been renting them out on Airbnb, and now the tourist industry has disappeared. Yeah, they need to pay their mortgage. They will try to get rid of the properties to get rid of that mortgage. A lot of them didn't mortgage up to 100%, they mortgaged maybe down to 50-60%, and they will accept offers on the property to get rid of that outgoing when they haven't got any incomings. I think also you must notice there'll be a huge difference between cities like Barcelona, Valencia, Madrid, Bilbao, San Sebastian, places like that, and the coastal areas. In the cities there's an inherent demand always, because that's where the jobs are. Where there are second homes, there's going to be a lot of supply, and that will push the prices down even more because the demand will not be there for a time. Until international air routes open up again, you're not going to have people coming over looking to buy a second home, and not knowing whether those air routes will still be in place in future years is also a disincentive for people to buy places on the costas when they know there is going to be loads of units available, and those units will probably be lower in price. How will this affect the Spanish high street? Well, there'll be lots of closures. Shops will close down, businesses will close down, especially those that were only renting their premises, because they'll go out of business, because they've been paying the rent for a time. Yes, there is help in place, but a lot of people aren't able to get it, so they'll close the business down. And there'll be lots of empty places opening up later. So if you're looking to open a business in Spain later, you've got a good chance of finding a decent rental or a place to buy that you can put your business in. However, the high street will look different. One thing that we will say though is that although it'll look different, Spaniards will get back to their original lives if possible, and that means meeting up with friends, going out for coffees, going to restaurants, buying from the local shops. And there's also a very big pressure within society now to use your local shops, because Amazon, etc., are seen not to be paying their way with taxes, and people want to help their local shops, their local restaurants, when they get back to normal, if they are still open. We will see. Another thing we expect to see is that long-term rental numbers will increase and long-term rental prices will reduce slightly. They will increase greatly because the number of properties that were previously on Airbnb and now they cannot get anyone coming in on Airbnb will mean that the landlords need income to cover the mortgages, so they will start to rent them out. And of course, if there is more rental stuff on the market, the prices will come down. Now, however, because property prices will come down, if you're an investor, it's still good because you're going to have a lot of people wanting to rent off you. They won't be able to buy. We expect to see people trading up, and we expect to see people trading down. Those who've realised that the house is too big for them will trade down. Those who've realised they need extra space will trade up. So we expect to see that. It doesn't really matter if you're in the same market, whether when you sell your property and you sell it for a lower price, and then you buy a property for a lower price, and you might be able to take advantage of one of those really big bargains that will come onto the market. Equally, trading up, people will see this as an opportunity to trade up. Or people who were going to come in and buy a 2-bedroom apartment may go for a 3-bedroom apartment now, because that price will come down to where the 2-bedroom previously was. Now, our thoughts on this will probably change over time. We've not got a crystal ball, we're not soothsayers, so I think in the future I might say I was totally wrong on that. But I think most of it is pretty spot on from what I'm hearing from the rest of the market as well. And hopefully it tallies with what you're thinking. We at Valencia Property are still working from home. We're not going out to see any properties because we're not allowed to at the moment. We're bringing new properties onto the site through the owners' photos when they get in touch with us, and then when we get the chance, we will be going out and making more videos, floor plans, etc. of the properties, virtual tours if you like, so that you can get a chance to actually see a property more in full online. The new website's working really well. The search is excellent on it now, which it wasn't before. And so if you want to have a look, go to, you see at the bottom of the screen, valenciaproperty.com. Take a look at what's available, and then keep an eye out for what's coming onto the site, because there should be some really good stuff coming onto the site in the next few months. The only problem is, will you be able to come and see it? We hope so in the near future, and we hope to see you in the near future.